it's a pretty common thought in football. It's one of those things where you think, okay, if you can keep the other team's best player, you have an Aaron Rodgers on the other side of the field or a Patrick Mahomes on the other side of the field, you keep them off the field. In other words, you try to run the football, get up early on a lead, and then just try to run out the clock. And sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. And for the Browns this last Sunday, it did not work. But that raises two questions. Number one for me is, is that the Browns are actually a really tough team and they deserve a lot of respect. And I will actually make a video about that later on in the week. But also the bigger question to me is, can anyone take down the Chiefs? I mean, okay, I know what you're thinking. Yes. Tom Brady did in the Super Bowl last year. Totally understand it. Not my point. When the Chiefs are at full strength and they have their players, they at least have players that they know can go ahead and make plays, and they have their guys in there. Can anyone on paper take down the Chiefs? I don't know. I really truthfully don't know. And before we get into the biggest question for me, and that is if anyone can take down the Chiefs, make sure you guys like and subscribe down below, leave a like and a comment. Helps people find the show. Greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and we continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome, and we love every single one of you. I always sound way out of breath when I do that, and when I always do that, I'm sorry. Whew. So let's address something that's a little bit bigger though, because we saw at a certain point there, it looked as though the Chiefs were in trouble, like the Browns were up. It looked as though they were able to run the football. Let me paint a different picture here for you. If I were to tell you Team A ran for over 150 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground and didn't pass for a single one, and took up a large portion of the play clock in that game, do you think that just by seeing that stat and hearing that, you would think that team would have lost? I don't think I know for certain I would be the if it was, as opposed to Team B. Yes, Patrick Mahomes completing however many passes for how many yards. That's not my biggest concern here. And okay, sorry for all of you stat fanatics like myself. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. 26 for 30 or 27 for 36, 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, completed 75% of his passes. Yes, Patrick Mahomes was amazing. He's always amazing. But if we would compare those two teams, I'm not so sure that I wouldn't pick the first team to win that football game, because the name of the game is obviously. And by the way, Baker Mayfield also had 321 yards, which was, that's a good game for him, completing over 75% of his passes too. But back to the subject at hand. That team and the way it looked, not only are the Browns a tough team, but it rose to the bigger question here of the Chiefs being near unbeatable. Because if they can come back from having and actually as I'm looking at here, which is actually a little bit of another stat that I want to bring up, the time of possession. Now, the average time of possession, that is. Now, the Chiefs, which passed the ball clearly a lot more, took up a larger portion of the time of possession with 32 minutes and 47 seconds. On the other hand, the Browns, who ran the football for over 150 yards, we covered that, had the ball for 27 minutes and 13 seconds. You would think over 100 yards, 150 yards, you'd have the ball for a lot longer. That's just, honestly, if the Chiefs can have this kind of offense and can have the football for that long of a time period, I don't know what more you could want from this team. It is just that amazing. Yes, we covered what Patrick Mahomes did. Also had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who finished the game with 43 rushing yards on 14 carries. Patrick Mahomes also ran a touchdown in, finished with 5 carries for 18 yards. Tyreek Hill, 11 catches, nearly 200 yards, also had a touchdown. Travis Kelce, 2 touchdowns off 6 catches for 76 yards. I know that when we get into playoff time and when we get into Super Bowl time, that's really when it matters. But to me, just on paper, I know that there's this thing about creating super teams and all that, yada, yada, yada. But I truthfully don't see a team that on paper that's actually able to beat the Chiefs. Now, again, I know the Bucs are a good team. They've got Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, and I'm never going to count that man out. Never going to count that man out. But on paper, man, that's just a big question. I think the Chiefs are a tough team, and I really don't foresee them on paper being beaten if they play up to their level and injuries don't decimate them as injuries tend to do during the NFL season. But you got to give a lot of props to the Chiefs because they're never truly out. Just never truly out. You got to give them a lot of props. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment to help people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Check out our website at thesportsbriefpodcast.com. Also, give us a like on all our social media platforms, which you'll find all the links to down in the description below. Also, if you would give us a listen and a sub on iTunes, we'd greatly appreciate it. And if you have anything you'd like us to cover, you can put it down in the comment section below, or you can submit it to us via email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com. But let us know what you guys think about, can anyone take down the Kansas City Chiefs?